And you can hear me okay?
Yeah, I think we're
Okay.
live. Hi guys, how are you guys? And go ahead and see if you can pull up those comments, Tammy. I have Tammy Snyder with me, creative partner Tammy Snyder, and she's going to be playing with Everyday Occasions. So I'm super excited about that. And let's just make sure we can see everything live. Are you getting it up on your end? There we go. All right. Yep. It's been a fun day creating. You probably just got done with work.
I did not. I am off like almost every other Friday.
Oh.
So we have this new 4-day work week that was kind of a weird choice on a COVID year.
Yeah. That's kind of nice in its own way though, I guess. So yeah, I mentioned it. Tammy's a Snyder. She's amazing, amazing person. So, all right, Tammy, I'm going to let you turn over to you, and I'm excited to see how you use this Everyday Occasions Kwik card. Paper kit.
Awesome. Thank you. All righty. Is there anything I need to do special to be able to see the comments?
Oh, go to the Kiwi Lane Designs page on Facebook.
Okay, so what I'm looking at is the Zoom live part right now, so it's going to look different on the page.
Yeah, so you just go to the page and then you'll see the comments on there, and then when you're done you'll just get up on your phone. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. And then you'll just click end on Zoom on your phone. But yes, you're going to want to watch it from Facebook on
there it is.
There we go. I thought you had set up. There we go.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Wait, that's not me. I'm not on the right one yet. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. So here we go. So on the Kiwi Lane Designs page, oh, Lynette's there, Carmen, Julie, Cynthia. Hello, guys. How are you? So you're going to go straight to the page. I'll actually share it too, and I'll give you a chance here in a moment. Jump on, guys. Say hi. We're just kind of setting it up really quickly. Are you there?
I'm here. I am. I can see. Okay. I think I was in the right place. It was just kind of looking weird. Okay. Yeah, right now it's spinning. Have you got me or no? Are you guys there? Can you hear me? Okay, maybe. I don't hear Susan, so I'm just making sure I'm still here. All righty, it shows live. Okay, says you can hear me. I think there's just going to be a big delay on my end because I just finally saw my hands enter the screen. So I'm going to try not to watch that, but I will watch the comments so that I can interact with you guys, because that's one of my favorite parts. So thank you guys for tuning in today. And I'm sorry we had a little bit of a rough start. So yes. I am here today to share with you guys some ideas using the Everyday Occasions Kwik card kit. So I know a lot of you have been watching some card making videos all day, and I'm hoping to share something slightly different with you. And I'm just happy to have a chance to pop on and say hi. So this Everyday Occasions kit is built and intended to make 10 cards. Okay, so each one of these little sleeves has the supplies in it to make 2 cards. So these are fantastic for grabbing, like if you are taking off on a little trip or something like that. I just got a message that it's having trouble playing video. Can one of you pop a comment up if you can actually still hear me? Okay, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and just keep going because I'm hoping that you guys can still see in here. Anyway, these are awesome. Like if you are heading off somewhere and you just want to build a little kit to take with you. I take these when we travel, like for a weekend. I can grab this and a couple of my tiny accessories and a tiny border, some tape and scissors and ink, and I've got everything I need to sit and create like in the evenings when things settle down. So that's just my thought for how to use them. I am going to just tear one of these apart for now. And I want to show you how to get even more out of one of these little kits. So they're already a great value with being able to get 10 of them out of a set, but I want to show you how to get 20. So I often look at these great little ideas and I'm like, wait, I want to do all 3. So I'm going to just kind of show you what I like to do. So when you take one of these little sleeves apart, like I said, you've got the stuff in there for making 2 cards right away. But if you take these pieces that are intended to be your card bases and you trim them down into just card fronts, you can double your value. Okay, so I cut these down so that I can nest them on an A2 size card base. So a regular A2 size card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So what I like to do is take these pieces and I'll cut them down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay. So I'm just going to trim a little about a 1/4 of an inch off of there. And I do that with all of them. And that way, right away, I've got 4 bases to build on instead of just the 2. Sometimes these darker pieces for me, like when you go to write a sentiment inside or something, they're a little bit dark. So I really prefer to just have white inside my cards. Then if I want to, I can stamp an extra sentiment inside, or just, my handwritten message shows up well. Totally personal preference. Okay. So I've got some scraps there. Might need those later, so we'll just set them aside. And I've got a lot of options here. So this orange is beautiful. The back side is kind of a light gray with some white dots on it. We'll put that one out. We've got this kind of green stripe. And then this side is more of a white with a kind of a gold dots on it. So maybe we'll use all 4 of them. We'll see. Okay. When you look at what else you've got in a package, you've got your recipe card that gives you ideas for how to make some of these different cards. So the trick here, if you really want to try to make all of them, you're not going to have that 3rd and 4th sentiment, right? These sets come with 2 sentiments. Okay, so we've got this piece, and you flip it over. These are fun. And then you've got this piece, and you flip it over. And then on the back side of the recipe card, there's some more pattern paper. So we can kind of, pick through and decide what we want to make. I just want to show you how to get as much out of these as possible. And I am trying to keep an eye on the comments. So if you have something that you want to share, I would love to hear it. I'm not sure if I'm seeing all of them. I'm just going to arrow through here and there. Hi, Gary. Thanks for joining us. Awesome, Cynthia. Thanks for letting me know that you could see it. Hi, Darlene. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Denise. Hi, Cynthia. Awesome. Okay, Kelly and Karen, Lynette, Carmen. All right, yay. Lots of people watching and tuning in. So pop on, say hi, let me know what you're doing on this Friday. That's nice. Okay, so I am going to kind of go back and forth today, probably between doing what's here on the recipe card, in case you haven't had an opportunity to see those, and then maybe using some things too out of the card sampler set, because that is an amazing way to get going on these kits. Okay. Boy, my internet must be having a rough day. I just got another message that it's not playing the video. So I'm just going to go on in good faith and hope that you're all still there. My favorite of these particular cards is this one here. It says sending you love. So I want to create it as shown, and it is using sentiments 1A and 1B, tiny bracket, and then tiny charmed. Now, when I look at this, honestly, I could definitely do that with the sentiments, but I can also do it using like adorn. So I am going to do it that way. And just move this down to be able to see the size that I want to make it. Yeah, Sharon said the video keeps stopping. Give me a second, guys. I am going to go kick my son off the internet and see if that helps, in case it's a problem on my end. So I'll be right back. All right, well, fingers crossed, that'll help. Let's do a little tracing here. Hi, Laura. Okay, I am going to trace this down just a little bit, kind of anticipating that I can use a piece of this to sub in later on a different design. And I know I want this a little bit wider than the adorn is made, so I'm going to kick that down just a little bit. So right away, I've got a piece up top and a piece below that I know that I can use on another card base. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim right here. And when I cut these, like I said, I'll have the piece that I want for that one card, and then I'll have a couple of extra pieces. So that's always the best. And I tend to do exactly what I'm doing right here. I will design all 4 cards at once. I don't know, it just kind of saves me some time and allows me to really use my paper well. So this is super cute. And I think the one that they're showing it on is this one. And I know that this is a little bit wide. I'm going to go ahead and leave it. Okay. That width, I'm not going to worry about. One of the examples on here shows this paper being used on this base, and they cut it with a different border, but again, it's that same paper. I'm going to go ahead and just put a piece of that here. And then I've got, let's see, I've also got an example. I've got an example here, but I don't have, this is going to be my extra. So maybe on here, I'm going to do it this way. Okay. All right, guys. Somebody leave me a comment if you're still there. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay. Okay, I just got a note from Carmen, broadcast interrupted. So I'm not sure if you guys are hearing me at all. I'm telling you, technology is not my friend today. Crossing fingers that we pop back on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and keep going in case the Zoom is recording, and that way hopefully you guys will get a chance to see it later. So I apologize if you're watching a recorded version and it just keeps stopping, but I'm going to go ahead and go on unless I hear otherwise. So this particular card called for the tiny bracket 4T. Okay, so that's a nice wide bracket to use for this, and it's kicked over to the side a little bit. Okay, and part of it's just going to be tucked. So I'm going to go ahead and trace it as is. And it'll still create a little bit of excess for me. So here's the secret. When you know that you want to do as many extra cards as you can, and you know you're going to be tucking something, think about where that's going to tuck. So I'm looking at that design. Think about where it's going to tuck and maybe save yourself a little bit more paper, whether it's for this side or from the other side. Okay. So that's just something I try to be watching and thinking about all the way through my process so that I can get as many cards as possible out of one of these sets. So sometimes I go by the recipe cards and sometimes I just go for it. Absolutely personal preference. I'm curious what you guys like to do. So if you are able to respond, I would love to hear what your thoughts are. And if you like to just create on the fly or use those recipes. Okay. So this is kind of just tucked like this on the example. And then there's a couple of really darling hearts that are done out of this paper here. And that little heart is from the Tiny Charmed set. So I'll go ahead and grab that. Oh, where's my little heart? Of course it's not in there. Why would it be in there? Alrighty, I'm going to freehand that heart. So here's the cool thing. The wings on this butterfly really make a good heart all by themselves. So since I'm needing to wing it today, pun intended, I'll just do that. So that'll make a very cute little heart. And And another one here. I put my templates out at events to share, and occasionally one doesn't make its way back in, or it gets mixed in with something else. Usually it turns up later, so never fear. That heart is probably somewhere. So take that across, and I will just cut these little hearts real quick. It's not exactly the same heart, but it's good. It's a cutie. That's what we need. I see a comment from Cynthia. Oh, you do some of both. Some of kind of following the designs and some of creating your own, Cynthia. That's awesome. That's me too. Honestly, it depends on why I'm making cards. Sometimes I just feel like sitting down and making them, and I'm in a creative mood, and I just kind of roll with it and do whatever I feel like. And then sometimes I'm making them more out of necessity. And in that case, I might be following the designs more. It's just my thought. So honestly, that one is probably pretty close to done. So I would pop those hearts up when I put it together, but I don't know that I would add a lot more to that. Maybe a couple of little jewel dots or something. When I look at these other designs, let's take a look at this one here. It says sending lots of happy thoughts your way. So that one needs this sentiment here, and it is cut using rings. Now that rings is nice. It's part of the card sampler set. Perfect size to cut that circle. So go ahead and trace that. That really does make a fun design for the front of the card. Having this nested inside the floral template that we're going to use. I know so many people who hate cutting circles because they worry about little dead spots when they don't turn it quite right or don't hold their scissors quite right. I just kind of want to remind you guys that inking is like the great equalizer. So don't freak out too much about that kind of stuff. It will turn out just fine. Okay, let me grab this. So when I create this floral, I'm going to end up using a bunch of this piece. And I do want to have enough of this left for another card. So I'm going to show you guys a little trick, because if you look at what is popping out of this, it's really just the edges, right? So nobody's ever going to know if you pieced that a little bit behind your card. So I am going to cut this in two parts so that I have a big chunk left here. So I'll show you what I mean. Just trying to get it so that I can do it, make it fit. So I'm going to do part of it like this, and I'm going to trace these pieces. Okay. And then I'm going to trace 4 more over here. And what that's going to do is give me that opportunity to save a big chunk of it so that I can do a border out of that piece that's left at the bottom. Okay. So I am going to remember that most of this is getting tucked. Okay. Most of this is getting tucked. Just save myself a big chunk of this. So that idea of really maximizing your paper goes a long way. If you just think about what you're layering, what's hidden anyway, that kind of thing. So get around here. So I'm very curious how you guys are doing. Who's making cards today? I love that Kiwi has dedicated 2 days to card making and really sharing some ideas, giving people some tools. The sale is awesome. I did create a video for my YouTube channel that I'll put up on Saturday. And I'll link it on the Play to Create site too if you are looking for one more idea. I'll have a little giveaway on there as well. So if you're getting an opportunity to watch this, I'll give you a heads up about that. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So these are done. And when I go to adhere it, I'll just be careful about how I place it, but you'll never even know that I pieced that. So, woohoo! What else do I need for that one? So that one's going to go on here. I chose a different border just because I used one of those scraps. Here's that piece. And then I want to make that little adorn. Kind of swipe on there. Let's see. That's interesting. Okay, so it is done this way, I believe. And I'm going to bring it down just a little bit in case I want to use that piece for something else. And I know that the piece that I'm going to be putting it up against is straight. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and do a straight edge over here, just to make sure that I have enough of that to make the card work out. So let's see, that is going to go there. Yep, so I'm just going to cut a straight edge there. I hope you guys don't think I'm crazy with all of this kind of weird piecing and stuff. It's just one of those things that, gosh, I don't like to waste. All right. And of course, if you are just making the cards by the instructions in the kit, you don't have to worry about this. You just make them and they're going to be gorgeous just the way that they are. So, okay. So this is that piece that I want for here. Here's the piece that I had there originally. And then we're going to piece this. I'll ink everything and it can go like that. So that really creates something very similar to this card that was done here. Okay. Let's see, I've got some comments on here. Yay. All righty. I'm making cards along with you. Awesome. That's great, Cynthia. I'm glad to hear that. Hi, Joanne. Thank you. Cutting the flower. Awesome. Thanks, Heather. Yeah, it does take so much less paper Oh, you guys have no idea how excited I am to see some comments on there. I'm like, hallelujah, you actually can see what's going on. That makes me happy. I kind of figured I've been talking to myself. So it's much better to not be talking to myself. I'm going to go ahead and cut this bit off here. And then all I have left is just the recipe card stuff. So I don't need to worry about that piece anymore. But this is a piece that could go here. Okay, it's obviously not going to go up on that one. And then I've got left, I'll just show you the papers I have, and then we'll get creative with how we want to finish these off. So I've got this piece, and I've only got the single side of it, right? Because the back is the recipe card. I've got a chunk of this. And I definitely am going to need some kind of a border for up there. So that'll probably be from that. And then I've got some of this gold and then this stripe here. Okay. So let's get a border for this one. And then we'll move on. Let's see if I saved enough of this to get this. Yeah, I like that. Alrighty, so I'm going to just take a chunk of this. And I just really love this Sentiments to Be. It's funny how we find certain products that we really like. The curve of this one makes me really happy. It's kind of the same curve as like Paisley Place has. And that is one of my favorite scrapbooking borders too. So I think that I tend to like the same things over and over again. All right, so that one can go there. And there's already these awesome stripes on here. So I'm gonna cut that strip. That's cute on there. Get a little piece of this gold to seal the seams on here. Oh, hey, I have this too. All right, so I'm kind of getting low on some of these pieces. So I need to think about what would be just a cute little sentiment. And I think, Heather, I can do that same little trick again, but I think this time I'm gonna do it with this Explore, because I think these little centers would be fun to just kind of pop out and put on this Explore. And I don't have a lot of paper left. So let's make a little embellishment with this. This Explore came out of the card sampler set as well. So again, if you are just thinking, well, maybe I want to get into card making, that sampler set is a super fantastic way to get started without a lot of financial input. So we'll get 4 parts of this traced. And then I'm going to trace the other 2 over here. And because we're going to be using a center anyway, that's going to work out just fine. So keep in mind, at this point, we have only opened 1 out of 5 of the pouches for this Everyday Occasions kit. So if you think about that, you can see how easy it would be to get just so many cards out of this. And I'm somebody who typically has plain white cardstock around all the time. I teach first grade, so often from home, I'm printing things on my printer to use, to make cardstock things for class, little manipulatives and things. So I pretty much always have white cardstock around, you know, like one regular sheet of white cardstock, you've got 2 card bases ready to go. So it's just a reasonable way to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a punch that I've got real quick that I think will do a good job with these. I think it'll be about the right size. This is an old Epiphany punch that I've had forever. And I don't have the, I used the last of my like resin pieces for it. Actually just like a week or so ago with the sunflower club kit, but still super cute. Just a fun little outline there. Let's see, hopefully there's enough room in between them. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love those. Cutie. And of course you can always just hand cut these out. I just thought the little edge on them would be fun if it was about the right size. Okay. So for now, I'm just going to lay this one here. Oh my gosh, these pieces are all over the place. I promise it's going to be super cute when we put it together. For this one, nope, don't like that one. I think I would use that. Okay, and then we need a last little embellishment for up here. So let's think about what we could do here. That's the same, so we don't want that. Maybe something with this. And of course, these little cuties could actually be used up here somehow. So we'll think about that. Might even be able to just raise this up and use these like that, stamp a sentiment, or even down here and stamp a sentiment. I like them better touching. So that's actually just kind of cute the way it is, but I might be able to find some little tiny thing that I could do. It's when these tiny highlights and tiny charmed come in handy. I am not finding something that is making me super excited right this second. So I might just leave it like it is. I want to show you guys how I go to put these together, okay? Because right now they're kind of popping off of the page. So I'm going to start with this guy here, and I'll just show you the steps that I go through that I think save a little bit of time. So obviously I want to ink this, but I am only going to ink the bottom right now because I know the top's going to be covered, and I'm going to ink the sides later when I have this all figured out. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this piece down where I want it. And get this one, same thing. I'm just going to ink the top. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys can see my pencil line, but it's a good thing I'm inking the top. Do this one here. I'm going to leave a little bit of space between them because I'm going to be covering it up anyway with this strip. This one I'll do the top and the bottom. Again, I'm not going to do the sides. If you're watching, let me know if you are typically a person who uses like a tape runner or glue. It's funny, I find that people are mostly one or the other. There's not a lot of people that are equally both. So what are you? Are you tape runner or are you glue? I'm gonna line this up on here because I am having a hard time eyeballing this for some reason. I think it probably just has to do with me being a little frazzly from the technical difficulties. All right. So ink this little guy just around those scallops. And then this one is kind of funny, but you are going to be covering up the center. So don't worry about getting all the way in if you've done this piece. If you guys have been creating along with all these videos today, you are going to have a monster card collection for using later. That's fantastic. This I am going to go ahead and adhere because it is pieced. I don't want to take a chance on it being kind of a weak spot on the card. So I am going to adhere this down, but I am going to pop up the center. Whoop. Hang on. I needed to ink these sides. My bad. Okay. I'm going to put a little piece of foam tape on the back of this. I'm going to use one of our foam squares. Okay, so that covers up all of those kind of weird looking parts where we pieced it. Then I just flip it and cut off that little bit of excess that's hanging over. And rather than trimming each little piece every time you go to put it down, I just like to do it at the end. And I'll ink around the edge of the whole thing at once. Give it a really unified feel. I feel like this is kind of creating that, kind of putting the whole thing in a package. Okay. Now this would be an example of one that there's not a sentiment for, right? There were just 2 sentiments in the package and we used them both. So maybe you've got a sticker that you could use. Kiwi Lane puts out those free printables all the time. Those are awesome for pulling some sentiments together. I also am a stamper, so I always have sentiments around that I can just stamp. So I will just add one to this card so that it is ready to go. So this is what I was talking about, kind of framing in on the white card base. So now this one's done. I could either do a message inside or just use that for writing in. I would probably stamp something right here. I don't think I'm going to take the time to do that while you guys are watching today though, but that is one option. Okay, so I'm going to scooch that one up and we'll go ahead and assemble this one. And remember this one, we were really following kind of the design that was on the recipe card. I just modified the border that I used a little bit. I used the adorn, just moved it down to make this piece. So let me take a second. I noticed there's some new comments on here. Hi, Shelly. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you popped on. Nice to see you. Thank you, Sharon. It's working. Okay, so Cynthia, you're a glue stick girl. Oh, but a tape runner for scrapbooking. Joanne uses art glitter glue. Shelly said the video keeps getting interrupted. Yeah, unfortunately, Shelly, I'm not sure what's going on with that. I thought maybe it was my son being on a game upstairs, but he swears he's off the internet. So I don't know what's going on with all of that today. Something. I apologize if you guys are getting a super spotty video. So this is gonna go, well, which way did it go? This way? I think it went this way. I'm just kind of tucking in. So let me put that down. I am really a fan of this Plus glue tape. This is kind of my go-to adhesive for both scrapbooking and card making. It's just been a good little product for me, but I know a lot of people are big fans of like the ETG guns and things like that. These little hearts are screaming at me that they need to be popped up. Oh, Susan's was going out too. Okay, I guess it's not just me then. It may be the way that we're doing it through Zoom. I don't know. I did film a video, well, actually 2 different videos today, and I didn't have any trouble with my internet, but who knows? I do live in the woods. Could be mine. This just had these cute little hearts. And if you're looking for this heart template, it doesn't exist. I used the butterfly wings to make it because my little heart ran away. It'll turn up, I'm sure. All right, so that's that basic one. I'm gonna flip it over. Do just what I did last time. Trim off that little bit. I'm gonna ink all the way around. And of course, you could mount something like this on something besides white. Maybe you've got a card base that's about the color of those hearts. That would be stunning. And I don't have that option right now. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the card base that I have ready. Just so you guys know, my video actually never came back. I'm looking at a black screen on my laptop, just having faith that there's somebody there. So anyway, happy Friday, everybody. No matter where you are in the country, hopefully you're off work or getting close to it at this point. Okay, so there's that one. Super cute. Love it. All right, we're gonna do a little swap here and we'll take a look at this one. So if you were watching when I started this one, you're gonna notice when I go to put it together that the flowers all pieced together. So it's kind of a, this is me saving paper. Isn't that great? All right. So I hope that you guys are seeing how easy it is. Oh, look, I just found another piece of paper. Man, I had a little bit more of that color I could have used. That's funny. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and ink the top of this one. I'm going to ink the bottom of this one. And I'm just going to walk you guys through these 4. I know that everybody's been busy today and a lot of you have watched many of these videos. So I don't think you want to watch me create all 20 cards, but watching me create the first 4 and kind of seeing just the method that I used, you could definitely easily go on and create a bunch more. So on this, I am just inking a little ways down these petals because I know that this circle that I created with the rings template is going to cover up all but, I don't know, not even a ½ inch of these around the edge. So just so I would love to know, if you're still on, I would love to know what, sorry, I'm looking, I thought I had a piece of paper that was sealing the seam on these. Did I not? Maybe I did not. So I think I want to do that. If you have been watching all day, I want to know what your favorite tip is that you learned, because I got to watch some of it, but I didn't get to watch all of it. So what was the favorite tip that you picked up today? So share with me. I don't want to miss out on anything. I think I'm going to go ahead and use just a little strip of this gold. What did you guys discover? Is there anybody out there who was not a card maker before that has gotten inspired to start trying it out? I know I really didn't make cards much before I found Kiwi Lane. Now I'm a pretty big fan of, especially when I get down to the scraps on my club kits, I always make a few cards out of those scraps because I don't want to save a little bit of a club kit. It makes me crazy. So I make a few pages and then I make my calendar and then I use whatever is left to make a few cards and then I call it done. So I really get a ton out of it. And I'll check your comments in just a second. I just want to go ahead and get this last little section adhered. Okay, so this one, I'm going to go ahead and adhere the base for this flower. I think I'll do kind of up here. Oh my gosh, it looks terrible right this second. I hope you guys have some faith. All right, and then I'm going to piece this one right there. I think for this is a bigger piece. I'm just going to use some foam tape because it'll be a little faster. I love my little squares for a lot of smaller things, but if I'm doing anything big, I tend to go to this big old roll of foam tape. Okay. Get that put on. Okay. Turn that back piece off. Again, those little hangy-offy pieces. You like my special English, hangy-offy? I do not sound like a teacher right this minute. Good thing I'm not at work. Okay. Ink all the way around this one. And because this is white and it's going on white, I actually want kind of a nice dark edge on here. Otherwise, it's not gonna look right. Okay. I'm gonna ink my card base as well. and get this adhered down. Okay, coming to those comments. I hope you guys are going to tell me what you learned today. Share your wisdom. Let me see. Thank you, Tammy. Happy Friday to you. Ah, Joanne saving paper. That's awesome. All right. And Susan's bells. And Carmen, that you used card bases as card friends. Aw, thank you guys. I definitely like to stretch my patterned paper. I love the Kiwi paper. So I like it to go as far as I can get it to go. Okay, we're going to put this last one together. And I think even with all of the technical difficulties and getting started a little late, we probably have been on for 45 minutes or so. A lot of it was spent just problem solving and me wondering if anything was happening. So I was thinking I was talking to myself. So I would say it probably took about 45 minutes or so to create these 4 cards. I don't think that's too bad for getting something handmade done. So they really do come together pretty fast. And the more you play with it and experiment and just kind of let yourself go with it, I think the more you're going to enjoy it and just get some good things finished, have some fun in the process. I'm going to pop these 2 up just to give it a little bit of dimension. These ones I'm just going to use one of these little foam squares. And then, like I said, on here, I think I would just stamp a nice sentiment. And I could always create another little thing if I need it, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cute just the way it is. I walked into a coworker's classroom yesterday to ask her a question. And up on her little bulletin board behind her desk, she had a card that I had made. And I was like, oh, and it was from, I don't know, maybe a year ago or something. And it was hanging up on there. It just made me feel really good that some people really do hold on to them, and they mean a lot to people that you've taken that time to hand make them something. So we all know some people just throw them in the garbage, but there are people that save them and that really are touched by that, you know, extra effort. So just know that. So I'm going to show you guys the scraps I have left too when I get this last one inked, because I think you're going to be surprised. Even with what we did accomplish with this set that was intended to make 2 cards, I still have some stuff left over. So got to finish this one first. Okay, so here we go. Those are the 4 we got done. And then we've got a little bit of scraps here. We still have this, this piece that almost looks like something. And, oh, wait, I found one more. A little bit of this dotted and this. So it's not that there's a lot left, but there is a little bit. So let me see if there's any more comments. And I'm getting ready to say goodnight, you guys, but let me see what else is there. Why is it not arrowing down? Be nice to me. Let's try it one more time. It says new comments. Oh, thank you, Sharon. All righty. Okay, so I hope that you guys had fun tuning in. I appreciate those of you who didn't give up on all the technical difficulties. I know there's going to be lots more great content this weekend. So whatever it is that you guys are getting a chance to see, enjoy it, have some fun, be inspired, and just have a great time with this World Card Making Day. That's a whole weekend for us. So I'll talk to you guys soon, and have a great night. Bye-bye.